Home of the truth, no lie. One West, UPK, just a lie. Shut the fuck up, bitch, cause you killing my vibe. I ain't gotta hide, cause I stay outside. Going worldwide. Blaze on the devil, let me put my cup down. Waiting on the order so I can take ground. Gun sounds, make his ass gon' lay down. Said you was down, where his ass at now? Who want the smoke? I am the ghost, I used to go 10 toes down, priest military, I'm ready for war. Out the fire, I was forged. How about the slab with the sword? Fuck the radio, fuck the mainstream. Me and my brothers gon' serve the Lord. Pull up at the camp with the top down. One up, motherfucker, see we hot now. Take ground, take zone, take the block now. War like a pearl nigga when I walk round. One West, we gon' take over. You rap niggas getting bent over. Something you ain't never seen, bitch. I'm a motherfucking soldier. Bear me a priest, now nigga gon' preach. Special forces come and see. Stay on some more, nigga, you gon' need police. For your protection, not me. High time to wake up out of sleep, cause a nigga feel like he top 3. Yeah. With that being said, man, shout out UPK Philly. Shout out my nigga Offer Azar. Shout out Captain the God. Shout out King Ty. Shout out Captain Katazar. Shout out Habanah. Shout out Awanya Allah, man. It's time to come together, man, and take this motherfucker by storm, man. You understand? It's the only way we gonna take this bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? DJ Khaled's doing it. These heathen is doing it. It's time for us to take this bitch by storm, man. You understand? Take ground shit. Shout out my nigga Shaw. Shout out my nigga Knock. You understand? Shout out my nigga Ayash from New Jersey. And we gonna do it just like that, man. Yeah. What I'm talking about. Shout out my niggas from Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? Hold up.
Ha ha! One West, bitch. You know what it is. 1969, home of the truth. And if you ain't UPK, you in the motherfucking way. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Harlem, New York, 125th Street. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? We the home of the truth, bitch, nigga, what you mean? How you mention One West and didn't mention me? No excuses, no cowards, only soldiers roll with me. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? 144,000 are prepared to serve the king. How you mention One West and didn't mention me? Look, I eat, sleep, shit, breathe, UPK every day. Get about that Christian church. One West is the only way for righteous leadership and brotherhood. This the only place. A lot of people say they got it, but we know them bitches fake. So I'll be One West to the death, to the end. UPK versus everybody. All we do is win. Undefeated since 69. Pussy, try again. I'll be damned if we ever lose to the likes of them. Commander Junior Honor ain't no coward. You know who he is. Hold on to this truth with no excuse. That's what he did. Showed us how to build a nation every day. We put in brick. Get that all put on her head and take an oath to never quit. And I mean that shit. Every word that I'm saying. If you cross the fucking line, I'ma show you I ain't playing. And I stay war ready. Every word that we hanging. And I still rock my shield of David like I'm gang banging. Bitch, we Harlem, New York, 125th Street. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? We the home of the truth, bitch, nigga, what you mean? How you mention One West and didn't mention me? No excuses, no cowards, only soldiers roll with me. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? 144,000 are prepared to serve the king. How you mention One West and didn't mention me?
They do the incredible. Help.
White man is a devil, him and whoever with him. These niggas can't even see that the truth it ain't even in them. What the fuck is Halloween and what the fuck is Christmas? You acting like a damn chat bitch, you just in the shit for the colors. Let's go for all of you martyrs. I'm killing all these religions. The truth was lost, but now it's found. But I end up missing. The damn white man, a damn white plague. Leprosy, it sound like man. Never seen a cracker turn black, but I see some blacks turn to a white man. I'ma show you who's the damn original. Saw the earth, we got flavor. Abused us in captivity, but somehow I still forgave him. Christianity is white supremacist. Turn a wise man into a menace. But UPK, yeah, we know the secrets. Do you wanna fight them demons? Yeah. I'm a prince, call me Charbon. These niggas gay like Zarbon. I dance with my ice like Carton. Old girl shit nut cause she all dumb. Wrap it up, yup, now I'm all done. Ain't the truth that you want while you call on. Nowadays these crackers be stalling. It's the boot little bitch, or walk off. I'ma ride for my niggas. Pause. Like you remember how you damn fell off. And respect these Christians so soft. Wanna love everybody did you wrong. Easy lick get robbed out your tongue. And somehow wanna all get along. Talking brotherhood but ain't brotherhood. But you don't love a nigga, boy, you a heathen. Mysteries, mystery. Upsetting these whole ass crackers, boy, leave your pussy as a misery. Yeah, ain't no coming down my chimney. Whites don't even know who they pretend to be. Turn your chopper to a slave, yeah, Kimberly. UPK, larger than your community. Israel on top, black people, real Jews. We don't lock all the mysteries. Yeah, watch how I unleash my fury. These heathens could never come near me. Could never ever tell me this purity. Yeah, ho.
Mystery. How you mention UPK and didn't mention me? I keep that thing with me. One bands on my sleeves. I let my shield swing. Nigga, fuck your digits, pig. Pants got some fringes in my garment, but a blue. And if you cross the line, then you gon' make the morning news. What a shame, motherfucker. Now forensics gotta be your brain, motherfucker.
Mystery, that shit a tragedy. Somebody should've warned them we ain't Christianity. UPK, black and brown unity. Build up black community. 69 we undefeated. From the pen we don't pray on our knees. 125th now bury me a fucking priest. What's beef? Beef is when we bomb on enemies. Fuck peace, 400 years in captivity. Fuck the Christian church. I ain't with the fuckery. You gon' have to do your 90 days just to fuck with me.
Mystery. A white man is the devil, that's just history.
Mystery. Upsetting these whole ass crackers, boy, leave your pussy as a misery. Yeah, ain't no coming down my chimney. Whites don't even know who they pretend to be. Turn your chopper to a slave, yeah, Kimberly. UPK, larger than your community. Israel on top, black people, real Jews. We don't lock all the mysteries. Yeah, watch how I unleash my fury. These heathens could never come near me. Could never ever tell me this purity. Yeah, ho.
When you look at life, there's only one truth, not multiple truths. That means truth ain't even true. You understand? And what is that truth? That the lost 12 tribes of Israel shall reign on earth, man. You understand me? We need hope, and we got it. Let's go.
When them warriors come out, endure to the end just for the blood of my eye. Protect us off the people, black watch. Cry out, spare not one, where's my casket drop? When them warriors come out, baptized to the fire. You a coward, you won't make it out. And fuck the Christian church, you bitches falling off. It's real together, there's no finish out. Profession make a wise man mad, so I put on all black and I took my ass to class. I was mobbing with the gas, fringes out the window while I'm fucking up the air. Garment on my body looking like a couple vat. One West, we the motherfucking best. UPK against the world, ain't no motherfucking sweat. It's real, come together, keep a shovel. White man is the devil, blaze on them UPK sweater in any weather. Told y'all bitches fuck with us and we gon' bring it back in blood. Why my cup empty, I'ma need 2 cups. How the strong, how the women, UPK, we one up. Ain't easy in the streets of Hebrew like me. Harassed by police, no justice, no peace. Penitentiary, drug in our community. Knee up on our neck, officer, we can't breathe. And fuck the Christian church, you bitches, white supremacy. Know I'm talking about. When them warriors come out, endure to the end just for the blood of my eye. I'm talking about. Protect us of the people, black watch. Cry out, spare not one, where's my casket drop? When them warriors come out, baptized to the fire, you a coward, you won't make it out. Fuck the Christian church, you bitches falling off. It's we're together, the north and the south.
Hey, when the warrior come out, yeah, blade build on you, get the sword to your mouth. There's some holes in this house. All I smell is straight pussy boy stuck up on the couch. Lot of talk, lot of hate. Oh no, we not alike. I was born with a chopper, on a tiger with the stripes. Hey, use a zebra cake, girl. Oh, coon ass full of oppressors more than yours. I'ma kick that shit one west. Fringes on my fucking vest, spikes all up on my head with that shit around my neck. Yeah. I got some bad bitches too. I ain't focused on them hoes, all I want is my doubloons. Boots laced to the ground while you laced off some drugs. Using easy ass kill cause you're so emotional. And impeccable with it. Your lifestyle is unacceptable living. Sorry baby, but these boys gotta hit us. I'm going to camp and I'll be gone for a minute, you know.
When them warriors come out, endure to the end just for the blood of my eye. I'm talking about. Protect us of the people, black watch. Cry out, spare not one, where's my casket drop? When them warriors come out, baptized to the fire, you a coward, you won't make it out. Fuck the Christian church, you bitches falling off. It's we're together, the north and the south.
You know, we on. Shalom, motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, shalom, y'all. But shalom, y'all. Shalom, y'all. Shout out to the sisters. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Love Lord Christ out of the world. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on with you, mighty man?
Nothing much. Y'all about to Shabbat.
Yeah, right, man. Hey, another day, another episode, man. Most high Christ, man. The Lord is truly with us on this podcast, man. We've been going off without a hitch. We had episode 8. One day we're going to be at episode 88, man. To keep it pushing to its episode 888, man. That's the goal. Yeah, let me get that mic down here. I'll just hold it. I'll be doing an interview. Shalom, shalom. The oppressors, the goddamn devil about to be up.
That's right.
Man. Yeah, man. So we're going to get into it today, man. We're going to get into it. Now, I know a couple brothers is supposed to be joining us, man. He's supposed to be catching up with Captain Posh and Bungad, of course. Bungad on yet?
He was a song, sir.
Yeah, he having technical difficulties, man. He all out there in Hickville. But, you know, we're going to hold it down in the brother's absence. So I'll wait till he get on to pull up a couple of other articles. But until then, we about to get it in, man. Does anybody? Well, that makes it easy. So I'll go ahead and get it cracking. So my article that I wanted to pull up is about the rapper T.I. Actually, before I get into my article, man, Walter's Almighty, man, how's everything going down there, man?
Man, I can't complain. You know, everything's too wild, sir. You know, holding it down. It was an incident where a young man got killed by the police while laying in his bed. I think his name was Donovan Lewis or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about that. when the goddamn cop had the dog in the left hand, opened the door with the pistol in his right hand. As soon as he opened the door, shot him, and then they went in there and told him stop resisting, and the nigga died. The nigga's dying, and they like stop resisting, he's fighting. And my thing is this: why the hell did you let the dog loose then?
Right.
If the brother gets bit, then the brother gets shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you let the goddamn dog loose? What goes to show you that even the goddamn dogs have more value in life than you black men, Hispanic men, Native Indian man in this goddamn wicked kingdom called America.
Absolutely. And then they tried to villainize the brother, putting into the article that he had a vape pen beside his bed. Like, what was the point of that?
Right. So they said that the vape pen was the reason why the cop shot him. He seen something in his hand. Now, mind you, they served this warrant at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Between the hours of 2 and 3 in the morning. Listen, after you get done slaving in this wicked kingdom, slaving your ass off, and you finally get home, man, you are tired. The last thing that you are doing, the last thing that you can do is really be cognizant of what the hell somebody kicking in your goddamn door at 2 and 3 in the morning. You understand? Like, that's like for you to say he has something in his hand and then kill the brother because of it just goes to show you how much the oppressor's the goddamn devil.
Right.
And one more point I wanted to add to that, what you bringing out. Like the brother was he was a young brother. So once more, he didn't have an extensive criminal history to my understanding. That's why they said something about the vape pen.
Right.
Yeah, he was like 20 something. Yeah, he was like 20, 23, 24, somewhere around there. And
high up in 20.
Yeah, exactly. He might have been younger.
He was young.
Might have been younger than that. Had a goddamn vape pen in his hand and dead with one shot. The cop opened the door, gunned him down, and went to arrest him. He died later on at the hospital. And one thing, the other thing I want to bring out is that this cop was a 30-year veteran. After 30 years, you don't know how to assess a threat. The fuck? So what the hell are you doing on the force?
Right.
What the hell are you doing on the force, man? And I don't want to get into it, but I don't mean to, get on, take your glory from you, Shinyan. But it's something that Shinyan, he had an article that he was going to bring out about a brother that killed the cop. That got into a shootout with the cop, killed the cop, and now they want the brother to get the death penalty. They don't even want to. Hey, Shalom, that was the time, right? What's going on? Like they don't even want the brother to do life in prison. They want to get his brother the death penalty.
Right.
When you hear stories, what's that brother name again, Baltazar?
Donovan Lewis.
Jonathan Lewis. When you hear stories like Jonathan Lewis, right? A brother who's in his goddamn bed sleeping. Police kick in the door and kill the brother with one shot. Who else does that sound like? It was another person that was in a house sleep when the cops kicked in the wrong door and killed him.
Breonna
Taylor. What is it? You get what I'm saying? It's starting to be a reoccurring pattern here. That's why I got cameras everywhere and dogs everywhere. Police kicking my door. The dogs is the first one to the fence. They gonna, they like to kill the dogs, and just know that they ain't taking me alive, and I'm not going easy. You understand? Like they have no reason to do that, but the white man being such a goddamn devil, just like they didn't have no reason to be in Breonna Taylor's house, just like they didn't have no good goddamn reason to kill his brother in his own house. Listen, they run in my house, you might as well get prepared for war. That's a warning. I'm going to defend my household. I don't give a damn about no wrong search warrant or none of that. You run in my house, just listen, get ready for warfare.
And that's a heavy point, if I may, Ottawa. The Ohio's governor, he awarded $8.5 million in grants to 21 Ohio law enforcement agencies to combat crime. So I'm thinking, like, if that's not a crime,
how much money?
$8.5 million in grants. Everybody loves grants. You ain't got to pay them back.
Right. So my next question is, how much of that went to re-education and retraining?
Man, probably $0.
Right. Not that it would actually make a point. The point is that it wouldn't make a point, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. Like re-education and retraining is not going to save blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians from these goddamn wicked cops who just want to kill black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. You understand? They just want to kill us. You know what I'm saying? They wake up in the morning like, I just want them dead. We know that they just want to kill us because how many goddamn police chiefs and high-ranking officials in the police force have got caught on videos and YouTube and all them other things saying how they just want to kill black people? How many police chiefs and other members of the police force have been caught that have ties rooted into white supremacist groups? You understand? We know the whole long history of white supremacy and where it stems from. Not to mention in your city, we had brought this back out a while ago, man, about a year and a half ago. If brothers remember the podcast, What's Hood Was Good with Captain Apocalypse on, man. We used to have a podcast called What's Hood Was Good, where I did a story on white supremacist groups and where they were located at. And the breeding ground for white supremacist groups is the city that you're in. That's where you at. That's where the Boogaloo Boys are at, the Oath Keepers, Oath Breakers, and whatever else goddamn Game of Thrones names that these white supremacist groups are giving themselves. Pretty soon you're going to see a white supremacist group full of white feminists called the House of Dragons. And black women are going to want to join it.
Right.
But the point I'm making is, man, like, man, listen. What's the name of that brother that shot the cop? We about to find the name of the brother that shot the cop. And listen, I'm not saying what the brother did was right, shooting the cop. If you can see the air quotes. I'm not saying what the brother did was right, shooting the cops. We do not condone violence. Y'all see the quotes, right? We do not condone violence here in the Israelite school of UPK. But we do promote self-defense. I stand with that brother. I don't know the ins and outs of why he got into a shootout with the cop and killed the cop. I do not know the ins and outs. I'm not justifying what that brother did in killing the cop, but I am justifying that brother having a right to live and a right to defend himself. Because these cops are criminals.
Right.
These cops are the biggest criminal organization on the face of the planet, or the biggest gang on the face of this planet. They say the difference between what makes a gang a gang. A gang is a group of people who participate in criminal activities. Well, that makes the police force the biggest goddamn gang on planet Earth.
Right.
Let's read on that. No, I'm just kidding. Come on, good. Shout out to Farms Grill LLC, man, for the breakfast this morning, man. You know what I'm saying? Mighty breakfast, a nigga fool. I almost didn't do the podcast.
But naturally, so we're saying that the police get funded 115 billion each year, man.
Jesus Christ, 115 million?
No,
I'm about to be a cop tomorrow.
right?
Apparently, they just not anybody. You don't need any training. You just need to shoot.
Only if you're willing to kill a nigga.
Only if you're willing to kill a nigga. Hey, listen, I'm gonna just shoot all Hamites and swerve it down. It was niggas.
Right.
What they gotta do?
And the thing is, it's a way out of this. You know what I'm saying? All we gotta do is come back to the Most High. One of the Israelite schools, universal practical knowledge. That's our protection.
Right.
Scriptures are our blueprint, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to go load up guns and let's go to war and protest and vote. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We already did that and tried that. It failed. We failed. You know what I'm saying?
Horribly at that.
Yeah, man. That's the only thing we can do, man. That's our protection.
Right. Yeah, I'm right. It just wasn't regular felony. It was horrific felony. Horrific. You know what I'm saying? To where we still suffering the effects of that to this day. We still suffering the goddamn effects.
Right.
Of watching and trying to beg their pressure to love us. Anything else you want to say on that, Quatazar?
No, la sir.
If I could, I would like to use that, what you spoke on that article, you spoke on the segue into what I wanted to say. Unless anybody else got anything you want to say on that. What article? I'm going into the article about T.I. and his son.
I don't know about it.
No sweat. Yeah, you think you can pull that article up so the people watching at home can see? There's a video that I want you to play too, but let's pull the article up, and if you would, let's read a little bit on the article. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up on my phone myself, and I'll read it.
I got it.
You got it? So the people hear you, like, yeah. My cool voice.
The article reads, T.I. responds to his son, King, being arrested. He's chasing after the wrong.
Hold on. Scroll down, there's a video. I want you to play the video of what he said. You ain't even got to read that part. And after you read the part, after you play the video of what he said, there's another part of the article I want you to read below that. Yep, play the video.
Got a minor request. Hope everybody having a phenomenal morning. Got a small request, man. Stop hitting me and getting in my comments.
Pause that.
Telling me what.
Now, actually, please take that from the beginning, play it over. Hey, can y'all hear that online? The video online, everything playing good?
Come.
Okay. I didn't hear it. Most of the press. Okay, no sweat. Go ahead and finish playing it then.
Yeah, King, okay? I know my son.
Oh.
Think I ain't spoke to my son?
So what he is saying to the people online, he's telling the people online, quit getting in his inbox, basically telling them how to be a father. And if it's one thing that we know Black America and Black Twitter is good at doing, we good at pointing out the flaws of everybody else but our own. Right. Listen, I can't tell you nothing that I do wrong, but I can tell you every goddamn thing that you do wrong. And it is funny though, because most of the people that's on there trying to tell T.I. how to be a parent are horrible goddamn parents themselves. Right. They are horrible parents, they got themselves. There's only one people on the face of this planet who has the power, authority, and wisdom to actually teach a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, woman how to be a good parent, and that is the Israelite School, a universal practical knowledge. That's right. Everybody else just needs to shut the hell up, man. Right. Because you smoking weed in front of your child, you doing all type of wickedness in front of your child. If you these mothers out here, your child can see you run through 1,000 rods. You ever go grocery shopping, right? And you go to the deep freezer and you see like where they got all the hot dogs at, and you just see packs of hot dogs lined up everywhere. Well, that's how some of these women's that's their body count. You go to the deep freezer in the grocery store and look at the hot dog section, that'd be half these bitches' body counts. Right. Somebody has something to say?
That's a lot. Y'all laughing.
No sweat. Yeah, that'd be their body count if you want to try to give parenting advice. How about you stop letting your goddamn child see you with a different rod every week?
Right.
You come home with some club rod every week. Half of you got babies and baby fathers from the club. Half the brothers got baby mamas from the club. Because you thought she was sexy. Then in there, you took her down, raw dogged her, and now you got a child with this woman that you don't know nothing about. You don't even know her name. You know her stage name. They call her Star. What was that one movie where the chick, her name was Big Booty Judy? Y'all know what movie I'm talking about, don't
ATL?
ATL, yeah, I knew T.I. was in it, I couldn't think of the name. Never watched it, but seen clips of it. Yeah, so, and don't that chick in real life got like several celebrity baby daddies? She got a baby with like Little Wayne or somebody else?
Lulu.
Yeah. So she got a baby with Little Wayne, she got a baby with somebody else. And these are the people, like she got several famous baby daddies. And these are the people that's out here trying to give T.I. advice. Listen, I don't agree with a whole lot of stuff T.I. does, but I'll tell you one thing that I did like about the brother, right? I never was a big fan of that little reality show shit, but my red watches it all the time. So I've seen clips of the reality show with T.I. stuff. Now, I don't know if he was just putting on a show for the cameras, but he seemed like a halfway decent father. He was always
mentoring and trying to teach his kids, and he would explain to them, listen, you don't have to do the things that I did. You don't have to live the life that I lived. You know, he did raise him to be kind of pompous and self-centered and self-absorbed. Like, I remember it was a clip before his son got in this trouble, where his son had got into it with a nigga at the Waffle House, and his son was disrespecting the cook at the Waffle House, and instead of T.I. checking his son on his attitude, you know, he used to present himself, he was checking the cook, talking about, you're not at the same point in life as my son, to be, you know, talking to my son like that. Like, you ain't nothing but a Waffle House cook, basically, is what T.I. was trying to say.
Right.
If you say something to my son, right? The same T.I. that was crying about a restaurant that racially profiled. So you was crying because the white man didn't want to let you into his restaurant and see you and your party of niggas and y'all in whose city, our city. But then when it's a black restaurant where your son can sit down and eat, where your son can sit down and eat and be treated like a regular person with some respect, and there's an altercation. Instead of you saying you're not on the same level to the white man, you didn't say that to the white man, you didn't tell the white man, hey, you're not on the same level as me, you know what I'm saying? You ain't at the same stature in life, but you tell this to the IHOP cook. Let me tell you something, man, that's a goddamn power move right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for him, go ahead.
Salaki, nah, so look at that. First Timothy, man, chapter 6 and 17, man. You understand? Charge them that are rich in this world, man.
You already know
where I was going. That they be not high-minded.
But you already know where I was going.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta try to know the rich so we can get them out of that prideful mindset, man. Because they think that money, you know what I'm saying, power, and that they got something, man, but you really ain't nothing. You ain't a priest and prophet in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. You ain't nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? We look down on you, man. You understand? Because what are you doing to help build up blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You helping keeping them down.
What are you doing to bring the Lord's kingdom?
What are you doing to bring the Lord's kingdom, man? Not a goddamn thing, man. You helping the goddamn oppressor keep blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians oppressed, man.
Right.
You should be funding the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, but you steady giving your money to the goddamn white supremacy Christian church. You know what I'm saying? That was a little
Right. Now, hold on. Say where you at, because I was going to point that scripture as well. But because my thing is this, like I said, from the show, he looked like a good father because he was always mentoring. That's what I was saying. I don't know if it was just for TV purposes or if that's how I really feel. So in one breath, you tell your son to be humble. You don't come from the same background I come from. You know what I'm saying? Be appreciative. And then in the next breath, when he gets into it with the man, instead of you teaching, you're taking that opportunity to teach your son the same shit that you was teaching him on that reality show. You want to attack the cook and talk about how the cook is not at the same level as your son and all these other wicked things that's really unbrotherly. Because let me tell you something. Your son's in prison right now. Your son's in jail. And the next step is prison. I know this for a fact. Whenever you go to jail, whenever you end up in prison, your status don't mean a goddamn thing.
Right.
Who you was on the outside don't mean a goddamn thing. All that is pointed out. I know dudes that I'd have been locked up with cats who used to be the man on the outside. They had all the drugs, they had all the keys, they had all of that. They went to prison and got bent over. They went to prison and got bent over. I also know niggas that didn't have nothing on the house. You get what I'm saying? They didn't have a damn thing on the house. Went to prison and became kingpins in there. Went to prison and was running the prison. Who you are don't mean nothing. All that, my dad's T.I. and all that stuff ain't gonna mean a goddamn thing when you get in there and you have to stand on your own too. You get what I'm saying? And this is what T.I. should have been teaching his son. Even though, like I said, from the show, he looked like a halfway decent father. And then, you know, everybody was chewing the brother out. It was a time where he went to go get his daughter's virginity checked to see if his daughter was still a virgin. He took her to the doctor to see if she was still a virgin. Y'all remember that?
Right.
Everybody chewed him out for that. But me personally, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I didn't. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Had it been a white celebrity that done it, everybody would have supported it and understood it. And you get what I'm saying? But then when the black man does it, it's a problem. So now from this article that I'm about to pull up, he's saying all the right things. If you would, you gotta play some more in the video.
Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and their grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep going to prison, ain't no way.
So what he's saying is that he's told his son to, quit acting the way he's acting. If he don't straighten up, he's gonna go to prison. You understand? That's very wise counsel. It is. Get your stuff together before you end up in prison. Listen, I wish I would have listened, but the thing is, the reason I didn't listen is because it was never coming from a man, from my perspective. It was always coming from a woman. I had my mother and my grandmother raising me. And the reason I didn't really listen is because at the end of the day, I felt like they were trying to take away all my masculine spirit when it came. So I was trained to fight against Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men all day, every day. Being raised by women, I was taught not to take no stuff from a black man at all. Don't take no mess. If any nigga say something to you, you put your hands on them, you defend yourself, you do all of that, right? But then when it came to the oppressor, when it came to white men, with white cops, white everybody, anybody in power and authority that was white, I was taught to be submissive. I was taught to be weak. I was taught to take the bass out of my voice. I was taught to not seem like a threat. So that's what probably made me stop listening. Because how can I be tough one minute, and then you want me to be soft the next? If you're tough 24/7. Right. You don't cut it on and cut it off. It's not a goddamn light switch. That's just like with this so-called masculinity. You can't be masculine one day and not masculine the next. It don't work like that. You are who you are. You get what I'm saying? Let's get some more on this video. So, but he has a father that's telling him from experience. But also the reason I believe his son isn't listening is because his father is sending mixed signals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One minute you're telling him to be humble and, and don't do those stupid things that he's doing. And then their son turns around and looks at you and you're always doing some stupid shit. Right. You make songs about doing stupid shit. You and your wife was brought up on so-called rape charges, right? All type of stupid stuff. You get what I'm saying? So you're telling them one thing, but you're doing something totally different, and it's sending mixed signals.
And that just, it's easy to see that, man. Money can't fix Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right? You understand? Not without these scriptures, not without these laws, man. Because you see the household of Dwayne Wade and who else, man? Goddamn Will Smith. And now look at the household of goddamn T.I., man. Right. You understand? Like, it's coming out everywhere, man. All throughout the social media, man, what's really going on in Hollywood, man. You understand? The Lord is truly bringing this place down, man. You understand? For all the wickedness that they have done and caused to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand?
Damn right. Let's get some more of that article.
Around it, ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out. You can.
Can I take a selfie with you?
No.
That's it. All right, most high Christ. So you hear he's saying that, listen, I done already talked to my son. I done tried to tell him, he won't listen. The reason kids don't listen is because usually you're giving mixed signals. That's what it was for me. It was mixed signals. It was 1 minute be an alpha male, and the next minute be a beta. Be an alpha when everything looks like you. Be a beta if it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. Because I was already wired to be a lion. You can't then turn around and try to turn me into a house cat. If I'm gonna punch one person in the face, everybody's getting punched in the face. I didn't discriminate. You understand? I can't turn it off like that. You can't turn it off like that. But there's a way to fix it though. Like the scripture said, train up a child in the way that they should go. and they will never depart from it. You start when they're young and you train them up in the way they will go. And they're never going to depart from it. Now, T.I.'s son, right? And this goes into the article that we was just watching, that we was just talking about. Where the brother, what's that brother name again, Baltazar?
Donovan Lewis.
Donovan Lewis, man. His brother, 20 years old, right? 20-something years old, and gets killed in his house by the cops. Cops, they open the door, and listen, it was literally 1 second. The second the door opened, the next second he is dead. Open the door, pow! That's exactly how that went. Push the door open, pow! Right? And this is just a regular brother, right? That don't have access to half of the stuff that these celebrity kids have access to. Like this young kid, he doesn't realize how privileged he is. T.I.'s son. They call him King, right? That's his name, King. I don't know if that's a nickname or if that's his real name. But, you know, that's the child's name, King. And my thing is this. Okay, you call him King because of, you know, you Christians, of course, and you want him to feel like a king, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to train him up to be a king. What does a king do, right? Let's think about the duties of a king. What is a king's duty? A king's duty is to his nation, right?
Right.
A king's duty is to his nation. A king's duty is to make sure that his nation is thriving, that his people are prospering, that his people are growing. It's all about the wealth and stability of his lands.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But instead, this young kid, he wants to be a street nigga. He wants to be a gangster. He wants to live the persona that his father raps about. I've seen some of the clips. It's hard not to see them. They're all over Facebook and YouTube. Like the way that he talks, the way that he carries himself, the way that he has just a sense of arrogance about him. And this is what I've always taught my kids from day one. I've always taught my kids this. You're not special. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that to not tell them that they're not special. I mean that in a sense of arrogance, the way this kid has, to feel like he's entitled to something. There's only one thing you're entitled to, man, and that's the covenant of the Lord.
Right.
Everything else you have to earn. You get what I'm saying? And I tell my kids, it ain't that they're not special. But the thing is this, in order to be special, you have to do something special. What are you doing that's different from everybody else?
Right.
Like I can tell you that my son is special because I see what he's doing. He's not doing the same thing that these other kids his age are doing. He's doing something that they're not doing, which makes him special, which makes him set apart, which makes him honorable. Because if he was doing the same thing these other kids are doing, I would be talking about my son the same way T.I.'s talking about his. I done told him, you don't think I done talked to my son? You don't think that I done told him where this is headed? Listen, the reason I don't have to give that speech is because not only do I teach my son, but I'm an example. Because your kids are going to follow what you do, not what the hell you say. They're going to follow what you do, not what you say. I can't tell you one time that I ever listened to anything that my mother told me to do. I always did what I saw her do.
Right.
You know,
I did exactly what I saw her do, man.
That's heavy because, you know, like I said, you know, my mom, back in the day, she's always talking about getting out of CPK, getting out of CPK. I'm talking stuff, you know, talking trash, man. The hell not CPK. Man, smoking weed ain't in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down, I knew what to do because not what she said, because what she did.
Right.
For years, she stayed in that goddamn Monday class on that computer, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Years, man. I'm watching like, goddamn, she always watching these damn movies. Man, turn that shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Real, man. Even my friends know. My friends around me, they knew.
Right.
They knew who they were because she was doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can call her right now, man. What time you? Time is the car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's heavy because you did exactly what she did. She could have told you all day long. You wouldn't go do it because you didn't see her doing it. But once you seen her do it, you did it. And that's the way it is with children, when it's their mother or their father. The reason these, like for example, the reason we have a generation of effeminate men out here, these sassy ass niggas out here, is because they've watched their mothers. They didn't have nothing else to watch. They watched their mothers. They watched their mothers. Their mothers let them do it, supported it, condoned it. And now you got a generation of sassy niggas who are hyper super emotional.
Right.
Who will kill you over nothing, man. You get what I'm saying? But that's it on this article right here, man. I just want to say this, man. The scripture say this. Actually, let me get Isaiah 9. Let me look it up. I believe it's Isaiah 14. No, that's not right. Let me get Isaiah 3 and 12. That's what I want. Isaiah 3 and 12. Like, what we got to do at some point in time is we got to quit babying these children. We got to quit giving these kids power and authority. The reason T.I.'s son is doing what he's doing is because if you ever watch the show, they baby them niggas. I'm not saying that you can't, take care of your kids. I'm not saying that you can't spoil your kids. But there's a limitation to certain ways to spoil your kids. I never rewarded my kids for bullcrap. I never rewarded bullcrap behavior. I never did any of that stuff, man. I was a different kind of father. You get what I'm saying? I didn't really care about straight A's in school and stuff like that because I always knew that they weren't learning the real history in school, even before the truth. Even before the truth. I was never one of them kids that never one of them parents, when I get a call about my child doing something, I just assumed that it was my child's fault. Because I knew how I was raising my kids at home. And I knew how they were watching me move. So, and I also knew how the educational system works. Because every time that you disagree with a teacher don't mean that you're being disrespectful to a teacher. I can disagree with you without being disrespectful. So when she would call home and teachers would call and tell me your son's doing this, your son's doing that, I didn't discipline my son. I would ask him what happened. What happened? You get what I'm saying? What happened? I remember one particular story, and this is after my son had always been around the truth since I've been in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he got snatched away because, according to his mother, I was weird because I didn't hate niggas no more, and I stopped using drugs and selling drugs, and I wanted to be a better father, a better man, and I wanted to be a better human being to my nation. Not to the world, to my nation. You get what I'm saying? Which made everybody weirded out for some odd reason. Because I didn't hate niggas no more. And I hated the oppressor. She got all this hate for me, but none for the white man. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, there was a time where he got in trouble at school, right? And I don't know if he remembers this, but the occasion was this, right? He was talking in class with a white kid, right? He was talking to a white kid, and something had happened to where the teacher just isolated him out and told him, hey, shut up, quit talking. And then he checked her. He said, listen, yeah, I was talking, but I wasn't the only one talking. So if you're going to, discipline people, you got to discipline everybody. Don't just isolate me out. You see me talking to this white boy, tell the white boy be quiet, right? Remember that shit? Yeah,
of course.
And
that's how with you.
Yeah, and that started a whole war, not just in the school, but with his mother as well. His mother didn't understand that concept. His mother didn't ask what happened, what his side of the story was. But to me, it makes sense. Don't that make sense to you? Don't tell me to shut up. Tell everybody to shut up.
It's a lot. If I could,
go ahead.
To further add on to that story, to give a little bit more background into the inside of that, like with the whole situation that went down, is that like I knew I wasn't in the wrong. Because here's the thing, like my father will tell you, like I wasn't the type of person to play around with my mother. But when it came to that specific situation, I even offered the teacher, I'm like, look, you can go and call my mother, do whatever you want, do whatever you feel is right in your head. But I want you to call her and tell you the exact same thing I just told you and the exact same thing that you're trying to punish me for. Like this is racial profiling. You are doing me wrong for no reason. Go ahead and call her.
And that's what he said. That's exactly what he said. He said, This is racial profiling. Racial profiling. Where did he learn that from? You think he learned it from his mother? Wow. He learned that from us, from his father. I learned it from the man above me, and I actually became my spiritual father. You understand? That's right.
The thing is, they ain't got nothing to hold it over top of them. Like probation and stuff like that. They'll use that. You know what I'm saying? Have you in check. Right. Like every time he used to threaten me to call my probation officer until I got off. Once I got off, man, it was nothing. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. I go home, I say, but that's the same way, because you in this truth, and they can't hold nothing against him where I'm calling your father, and they'll try to use that, you know what I'm saying, where you can abuse your child, you know what I'm saying, because you can't always believe these damn teachers, man. Right. You know what I'm saying, I'm learning from that, new experience, you know what I'm saying, so I'm learning, I can't always discipline them. Right. But I do expect them to be, do what the teacher says, but right. You know what I'm saying? But you never know because I'm not there.
Right. And here's how you kill that. When you raise up a child in the way that they should go.
Right.
Raise my children. And this is something that this is a conversation for another day. But there's a difference between being a deadbeat father and being a broke father, right? Just because you're a broke father doesn't make you a deadbeat father. And let me tell you something else. There's a lot more deadbeat mothers than there are deadbeat fathers.
Right.
Sorry to tell you, feminist movement. The proof is the feminist movement. You bitches want to kill babies. Right. To talk about how strong and independent you are.
You
got. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more deadbeat mothers than fathers, but we'll get to that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But I raised him up in a way that he should go. Here's what was not happening in my household, and this is what's happening in P.I.'s household. This is what happened in Wade's household. This is what's happening in a lot of black celebrity households. Let me get that scripture in Isaiah. Isaiah 3:12.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12.
Go ahead.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Who are their oppressors?
Children are their oppressors.
The reason I know my child is not my oppressor, right, is because I raised him up in the way that he should go. I raised him up to stand up for himself. I raised him up, don't just listen. Stand up for yourself and be righteous. Be righteous with it. If the Lord is with you, you can't lose. The Lord is with you, you can't lose. It might have looked like a loss at first, but you see where he ended up at. He looked like a loss at first, but at the end of the day, he ended up with me. So the Lord was definitely with him. You understand? The Lord seen that I was raising up my son in the way that he should go and that his mother was not. And so the Lord decided, listen, I'm going to put you with your father from here on out. I'm going to let your father raise you up. You get what I'm saying? Because if he was with his mother, right, he could have been an oppressor to me. What's the proof of that? This scripture right here. Let's get it.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Keep going.
And women rule over them.
And the women rule over him. He could have became an oppressor to me if if a woman was allowed to continue to rule over him. Because what do most black women do with their kids? They train their kids to hate their fathers.
Right.
And to treat their fathers like crap. And I see it all the time. They only call their goddamn fathers when they want something, when they want some money. Right. And my daddy wasn't there for me. My daddy wasn't this, my daddy wasn't that. Listen, little sucker, neither was your mother.
Right.
Just because, and we all know this to be a fact, we all know this to be true. Just because you live in the same household with somebody doesn't mean that they're taking care of you, doesn't mean that they have your best interest in heart. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like buying stuff or putting food in somebody's mouth, roof over their head, clothes on their back. Listen, that's a must. You must do them things. But just because you do them things for a child doesn't mean that you're raising that child correctly. Right. Just because you put food in a child's mouth, Just because you put clothes on a child's back, just because you do the things, listen, so if you're eating, shouldn't you feed the child?
Right.
If it's raining and you get out the weather, shouldn't the child get out the weather? You're not walking down the street butt naked, shouldn't the child have some clothes on too? Just because you're doing these things does not mean that you are taking care of the child, Black woman, Hispanic woman, Native Indian woman. Money, buying stuff doesn't mean that you're taking care of the child. Chuck E. Cheese and all that stuff, that doesn't mean that you're taking care of the child. By that logic, then why did Tina Turner ever leave Ike Turner? It don't matter that he was going upside her goddamn head, he was still providing. He had all the money, he gave her career, he gave her name, he was always buying her dresses, he was always feeding her, always taking her place. They traveled the world. Every time he go upside her head, that's okay, because he would just buy her a dress.
Right.
And so, and he had all the money, right? Well, let me tell you something. Some of these mothers, that's how they are in relationships with their kids. There's an Ike Turner, Tina Turner relationship for his mother and child. They go upside the child's head and all these things and thinking that was raising a child. And before you know it, the child starts to think on the same spirit as that mother, and they hate that goddamn father.
Right.
Right? And then they're being ruled over. Now, I'm not saying that's the incident, the thing that happened in T.I. household or Wade's household. I'm saying it's very similar because the children are oppressing them and the women rule over them.
Right.
What's the proof that the woman rule over them? So when the T.I. instance, right? I was seeing a little young nigga King, the son, right? He was on Instagram or whatever. He was like, man, just leave my mama out of it. Just leave my mama out of it. Just listen, you do whatever you want to do to me. You say whatever about me and my father or whatever. Just don't say nothing about my mother. What does that sound like?
The mama's boy?
It's not just a mama's boy, but how can you allow somebody to talk about your mother and you defend your mother but not defend your father?
Right.
Right.
Christian.
If this don't say shit about my mother, don't say shit about my father either.
Right.
I don't say nothing about nobody in my family.
Right.
You said you can do whatever to me, you can talk about me, you can talk about my daddy, don't say nothing about my mama.
Right.
Listen, I always said that weird stuff. I said, man, listen, they made me and this boy a little bit too much.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So my thing is this, it ain't just don't say nothing about my mama, don't say nothing about none of my brothers. I just got through blazing on a cat on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? A Facebook troll. He was talking all that stuff about brothers and ISUPK. I was on his head. I defended all my brothers. I didn't pick and choose. I defended all my family. All my family gets my protection. Not just my mother. My father too, my brothers, my sisters, the cats, the dogs. If it's one West, he gets my protection. But once more, what are you raising your child to do? You picking and choosing how your child should protect? This is what happens when you don't raise a child in the way it should go.
Right.
So for him to say, listen, you can do whatever to anybody, just don't touch my mother. He hasn't been taught that, right?
Right.
Who taught him that? Where do you think that spirit comes from? His mother or his father? You get what I'm saying? His mother or his father. Because you can't do a goddamn thing to none of my brothers or sisters. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister. Listen, you touch any one of us, and I'm going to take 10 of yours.
Right.
No questions asked. Well, listen, like I told you, I can't tell you the price of things, but I can tell you the value. All my brothers is valuable. All my sisters is valuable. All my mothers is valuable. All my fathers is valuable. Understand? And you can't touch none of them.
Right.
You can't say nothing about none of them. It's going to be a problem every time. I don't pick and choose. But this is because we've been raised up the right way in One West. You understand? And this is, and once more, I say all that to say this, man. This is the problem with today's world, man. Watching this thing with T.I., he's been sending his son mixed signals. His son should be a protector. Once more, your name's a king, right? A king, is that what a king gonna say? A king gonna say, listen, Don't do nothing to this side of my nation, but this side of the nation you can do whatever to. Right? Is that what a king does? A king says, listen, yeah, that's my land, and you can rape and rob everybody on that land. Just don't come to the main city in the kingdom and do it. That's not what a king does. When we take the kingdom, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to war for one blade of grass. Right. One slave escape, I'm going to send the whole army. Right. Go retrieve my property. Straight up. I'm going to give that same energy in everything that I do. I'm not going to pick and choose. It's going to be the same energy. The same energy. Right? And like I said, we were supposed to have I was looking at the text message. Cap had sent the text message. Most on Christ. You see Cap on there?
I'm here.
Are you sure?
Well, he was on here a while ago, but not right now.
Hey, Shalak, if I may.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead, man.
Shout out to the brothers and sisters in the chat. Y'all about Shimi Hashab Barakatah to the brothers. Y'all thought about Shimi Hashab to the sisters.
Yeah, most on Christ. No, I got my other phone. I'm out here bare minimum today. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's on the show. I appreciate the love, the support. Me and all my brothers do, man. We appreciate the love, the support every week. Like I said, we're going to turn this thing into something glorious. And also, brothers and sisters, if y'all want to get on the show, if y'all want a story to be shared, whatever the case, make sure y'all reach out and we will get that stuff on the show. We will bring it on. We're going to get you on the show. We'll bring a story out. You know what I'm saying? If there's something going on in the news that we missed, we're gonna get into it. But that's it. That's all I got on that TI thing. Understand? But I would like to switch gears for a little bit before we get ready to shut it down, if you don't mind.
Let's get it.
All right, most high Christ. So, has anybody seen this Tiffany Haddish and Arian Spears little fiasco?
Now I had just seen somebody posted something. I didn't get a chance to hop on here. I heard it was something about pedophilia or something.
Yeah, so I didn't watch it, but I heard about it, right? And I didn't have to watch it. That's just like I don't have to watch a person being raped to know that it's wicked. I don't have to watch gay porn to know that it's wicked. You get what I'm saying? Right. So just the name of it alone tells me it's wicked. Gay porn. I know, hey, listen, that's wicked. You know what I'm saying? That's beyond wicked. That's super wicked. You get what I'm saying? Straight up. So when I heard about it, I heard about the skit they did about pedophilia, right? And of course, everybody is destroying them for it, right?
Right.
It was to the point that it was so bad, I thought they had actually got caught being pedophiles with a kid. Like, that's how bad. Like, I thought it was real at first. Coming to find out it's a whole skit. Now, does anybody know where I'm going with this? Why is it? Yeah, of course. The Christian church. But my other thing is this, right? Why come pedophilia is so blown up whenever, like, so what they're doing, right? What Tiffany Haddish and Arian Spears has done, right? Like, it's not only, why is it such a big deal? That's what I want to get to first. I want to see if you're on the same page as me.
Sir, I don't get why it's a big deal. You put it in every goddamn movie.
Right.
You understand? Now understand this though. We can't do what the goddamn oppressors do.
Right.
You understand? That's what they were known for. Rape, robbery, and pillaging, man. You understand? That's how America was formed, man. You know what I'm saying? So.
They're right. Does anybody else have anything to bring out before I get into it?
Yeah, what was your question though?
So why is it such a big deal? Why come when Arian Spears and what's that, Megan Thee Stallion and Tiffany Haddish did such a big deal?
Oh, so I because the male.
No.
Well, because of the color line?
No, so why is everybody so mad at them? Where does all this anger stem from?
Oh,
No, like I said, I didn't see the clip.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a white kid or not, but you're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there. Why is it such the talk of the town? Does anybody want to give a more shot? You're right there. You're there. You're there. Now you said two of the key words, white and black. That's the only two hits I'm gonna give you.
It's a lot.
Go ahead.
So this is black male with white woman?
No. Nope. Here's why. Here's why it's such a big deal. Because white people were mad. That's why it became a big deal. Because white people were angry about it. And then it became a big deal.
Right.
What's the proof of that? Because so you're mad about these people doing a pedophile skit, right? Doing a pedophile skit. And white people were angry. And then when white people became angry, black people became angry. Because black people's anger is only stemmed by white man's anger. We hate what the white man hates, and we love what the white man loves. What's the proof of that? The whole goddamn nation. So everything that you see in America is the proof of that. So if you mad at Arian Spears and Tiffany Haddish doing this goddamn pedophile skit, then you should be mad at gay pride parades.
Right.
You should be mad at the fact that they let drag queens go inside public schools and read books to little kids.
Right.
You should be mad at everything that is homosexual and lesbian in nature because all of that stems from pedophilia.
Right.
So how can you be mad at one skit like this, but you're not mad at these little gay shows that you got going on? Go ahead.
The goddamn video is over 8 years old.
It's over 8 years old.
This happened in 2013 and 14. But they just now bringing it up.
Well, I didn't even know it was 8 years old. I ain't even seen the video. That is 8 years old.
That's what I'm saying. But they bringing it out. They got charged with this a couple days ago.
What are they charging them with?
I guess it's like child sexual abuse.
So what is a real video?
I'm thinking it's a skit. I don't know.
It's a skit, but they charging them with a real crime. Well, this is the slippery slope right here. If that's the case, now we got to look into this. But I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, if this is the case, then that means you got to charge every drag queen. You got to charge every goddamn person that's been in the gay pride parade. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to. You have to charge them with the same crimes that you're trying to charge Tiffany Haddish and Arian Spears with. Like, does anybody remember that famous picture at the gay pride parade? It was a devil with a bunch of dildos strapped all over his body, holding hands with a little kid.
Wow.
Does anybody remember? Am I the only person that wicked scene is burned into my memory banks that I can remember that? Listen, man, I'm gonna find that picture and I'm gonna post it. There was a devil with a bunch of rainbow dildos strapped all over his body. He had a dildo on his forehead like a unicorn. He had one, like he literally had it all over his body. It's like he was the dildo man, right? And he was walking with a child, holding hands with a child. They was in the gay pride parade with strap-ons with little kids with them. If they charge Arian Spears and Tiffany Haddish with any kind of crime, you must charge any same-sex couple that has children.
Right.
You must. You must charge every single solitary same-sex couple that has a child, that has adopted a child. Because there is nothing, I haven't seen the video. I haven't. But I can tell you this without a shadow of a doubt. There is nothing that they did in that video that these people are doing in real life.
Right.
Where do you think the video stems from? It stems from a lifestyle of these people. Right?
And it's like,
Go ahead.
she only got paid, the little girl only got paid $100 to do that. But and it's just so wicked that you would want this girl to go in the studio and moan, and perform sexual noise, man. It's just wicked, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's something for adults, man. So, you know what I'm saying?
But so my thing is this: the little girl that did it, right? The little girl that did it. Where do you think she learned it from? Why did her parents allow her to do it?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
man.
Like they've been doing this. This is nothing new. Has anybody ever seen the movie Interview with the Vampire?
Yeah, with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, with Brad Pitt and
Okay.
Antonio Banderas and somebody else. But there's a little girl in there. This is the same chick that ended up playing in Spider-Man years later. I can't remember her name. It'll come to me. But anyway, she's supposed to be a little kid vampire, right? She's supposed to be hundreds of years old, but she's all hugged up on Brad Pitt in the movie, calling him my love, I love you so much, this and that, blase scoop. Like it had a very, very relationship contact to it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Spirit behind it. Then if you're mad at Arian Spears and Tiffany Haddish for having this little kid go in there and make grown woman sounds in the studio, you should be mad at every goddamn movie that's like Interview with the Vampire. Because they were supposed to be in a relationship. She said, Brad Pitt, my love, I can never leave you. I can never be mad at you. Tom Cruise, that's the other devil. No, not the chick name.
It is Tom Cruise.
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah, Kristen
I
Dunst.
think that's her name, Kristen Dunst.
Come.
Well, she was like 8 years old or some shit. But nobody said a damn thing. She sitting down on this man's lap while on the movie. You get what I'm saying? All hugged up. It was a movie, right? Well, this was a skit. A skit is what? It's a
movie.
ploy on a movie, right? Would it have been better if they had made it a whole goddamn movie? If you're mad at this, then you have to be mad at every movie that has child pedophilia in it. It's a movie called Gone Baby Gone with Morgan Freeman in it. He was a cop, right? I forget the other devil name, but it was a scene in there where they had the little kid, right? The dude that raped the little kid to death. The devil raped the little kid to death. And the little kid in the bathtub, right? This is a real kid. The kid is in the bathtub playing dead, right? And bloody water. They had bloody drawers in the sink, right? Just Google what I'm telling you. It's called Gone Baby Gone, where the white cop comes in, sees the white man that had raped this little kid, busted the booty hole all open. They got very graphic when they was talking about how the child died. The child bled to death from volatile anal bleeding. Right? According to the movie, right? If you're mad at Tiffany Haddish and Arian Spears, you have to be mad at that movie. You have to. You have to be mad at every goddamn movie that has the spirit of child pedophilia in it. I got an even better one. This is gonna break the internet with this one. How about you be mad at actual child pedophiles? How about you actually be mad at the people who are out here raping little kids? You don't want to do that. You know why? Because that's going to take you to the doorsteps of every goddamn Christian and Catholic church around the world. You got to go right to your Christian pastor, slap him in the face, charge him, hold him accountable. But you want to be mad at actors. Right? Actors. And not just actors, black actors. Now, I get it that Tiffany Haddish, she's not black. I just recently found that out. I always thought she was black. That's primarily why I never liked her. I'm like, she is just a big whore. She takes pride in being a whore, teaching all the black women to be whores. But I see now, that's really her spirit because she's really a white woman. But no sweat. That outside the point. My point is this. Don't be mad at them without being mad at the real culprits behind it. Be mad at the real people that's doing it. Take this fight to every goddamn Christian doorstep, every Christian church, every Catholic church, every Baptist church.
Right.
Take it to them. Take it to the Jeffrey Epsteins. Like they got the little documentary out on how the Playboys and Victoria's Secrets and all them people, they was in this big ass sex circle of orgy balls and everything else wicked, where they sleeping with everybody. Like Jeffrey Epstein is famous for sleeping with little kids. He supposedly had video recordings of all type of people. And these are people that we see on the TV all the time. Like the dude that does the Daily Show, he's one of them. Like we've all heard the rumors. Why ain't nobody mad at them?
Right.
These are people that actually have ties with the shit. Not they do a skit because listen, Ernie Spears might be soft, he can't fight. There's a lot of niggas out here that can't fight. You ain't mad at them for not being able to fight. You know, we seen them get beat up on a radio show or whatever, talking crazy. We know a lot of niggas like that in the hood. So what? So what? You disown a nigga because he can't fight? White man get beat up, but they don't disown him. They pick his knocked out ass up and drag him and put him in a car and tell him, good job, you gave it your best shot. Black nigga get knocked out and all of a sudden you disown him, period. A black man get knocked out, now you don't want nothing to do with him. Everybody's not put here to fight. All right, Arian Spears is put here to make you laugh. You get what I'm saying? Tiffany Haddish is put here to be an instrument of the black woman's destruction. Because this whole time I thought she was a nigga, coming to find out she's a devil. That's bad. That's real bad. She's infiltrated the black community. Infiltrated the black community. But this is stuff that we don't care about. Instead, we care about them doing a skit about child pedophilia when we're not mad at the real child pedophiles.
Right.
It don't make sense. You get what I'm saying? It don't make sense. Like, we get mad about the stupidest stuff as a nation. We get mad about the stupidest stuff, and then we don't get mad about the real things. Prime example. You remember when you was growing up, right? This is totally off subject, but I'm trying to make a point here. Now, you know when you was young and growing up and you didn't have a lot of money, but you would want the name brand stuff, and you would go buy the so-called name brand stuff, and people would say, well, that's not real. It would be a bunch of black people that got mad at you because you bought something that you wanted to try to be accepted in their eyes because we didn't know better. And the first thing they would say, well, them ain't real Jordans. Or that's not a real Nike hat. Or that's not this. That's not real Gucci glasses. That's not real this. That's not real that. Am I the only person that went through that? You ever see a nigga get mad at you and try to talk about you because something that you got or something that you did wasn't real? Like, no, nigga, them ain't real Gucci glasses. And my thing is this, I'm like, these aren't real Gucci glasses. And I'll tell you why they're real, because I paid real money.
Right.
These is fake Gucci glasses, but I didn't buy these with fake money. I bought these with real money. Now, if I could have spent Monopoly money on it, you might have a point.
Right.
But I didn't. I spent real money on this. But we get mad at that kind of stuff, right? So we get mad at the fake stuff. That's the point I'm trying to make. We get mad at the fake stuff. Somebody got on fake Jordans, you get mad at them and talk about them. Right. These people made a fake skit about child pedophilia. Now, mind you, man, I didn't see the skit, so I doubt if they slept with any of the kids. Kids were in the bed with them and stuff like that. But it's fake. And black people get mad at something that's fake, but you're not mad at the real. Why ain't you mad at the real? Why ain't you mad about the LGBT community? That's real. And they're teaching pedophilia.
Why you not mad at them goddamn homosexual devils that are adopting black children and raping them?
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's really happening.
So like, why they not mad about the Mexican babies on the border being molested by these goddamn patrol officers, man? And them Haitian brothers and sisters are being molested on the border by these goddamn border patrol officers, man.
That's real. The little Native Indian girls being raped on the reservations.
That's real.
So you're not mad about real pedophilia, but you're mad about a goddamn skit that my brother brought up and said it was 8 years ago. You're mad about that. Get your goddamn life together, black, Hispanic, Native Indian man, woman, and child. Get your goddamn life together. Why are we mad about the fake but not mad about the real?
uncle said that it was like they was friends for a long time, the parent. So she definitely gave him consent to do it. But I think like it's probably a power trip. If she wants some money now, well, I'm gonna go ahead and sue you. Unless you give me some money or something like that.
So they need sued?
Come. But this making, headlines and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure she gave her consent, and then they like the outcome because the daughter only got $100. I mean, I don't know how famous they are. These people are. I don't know if they're real famous or what.
Britney Spears is pretty famous.
Yeah. That's all it is, I want.
Yeah, they definitely famous. And they definitely black people famous. That's why black people are mad. And, but when you become black famous, right, when everybody in the black community knows you, you then switch over to become white famous. So both of them started off black famous, and now they're both white famous. Like Britney Spears used to be on that white comedy show. What's it called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Saturday Night Live. That's what it's called. Tiffany Haddish, she became black famous, and now she's white famous. She's best friends with Kevin Hart. He puts her in all the movies that he can and all that other kind of stuff. So they got money. You get what I'm saying? She actually has a show on not Comedy Central, but Adult Swim, where she's playing like a parrot or something, but it's a parrot face with a human body, and she plays a whore. The animal on there plays a whore. You know what I'm saying? Every movie she plays in, she plays a goddamn whore. And she's teaching black women how to be whores, but she's really just a white woman. It's a white woman's nature to be a whore. But either way, you're not mad about any of that. You're mad now because they're being sued for a pedophile skit. But you're not mad at real pedophiles. Somebody make it make sense to me. Why are we mad at real pedophiles?
So I got a quick question, real quick. Like it's something like literally just popped up in my head because it's been bothering me a little bit.
Right.
But quick question to the community that's mad about this. They mad. So you said they mad about this skit that's been going around, right?
Right.
And here's the thing, like they promote pedophilia. Well, I ain't gonna say they promote it. Well, I guess I can, because at this point it's a joke to them. So they promote pedophilia on all the shows that you watch, whether it's Family Guy, American Dad, all these comedy shows that you're watching. And they making jokes about it. They are making jokes that make people laugh about it. And this is what that whole situation was about the skit. Like, I guess, like you said, it was from a movie.
Right.
Either the scene was from a movie or something. Like, yeah, they're literally just reenacting that scene. It's not anything actually going on, like no sexual contact or nothing like that. But, like you said, they just reenacted something. Now, if somebody's making a joke about something, why are they outraged about that? Why are they making a joke about? Why are they making a joke about people who have actually been raped, who have actually been, hunted down by pedophiles and stuff like that, who have actually had to go through, all these different, issues and stuff in that community? Why ain't nobody outraged about that?
Right.
Talakia. I got a CNN smaller article if you want me to break it down.
Damn right.
All right, so it says the heading is Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears accused of child sexual abuse in lawsuit. Their reps call it a shakedown. So comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears have been accused of having groomed and molested two then minor sibling years ago. It says, according to the lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Supreme Court, the complainants are referred to as Jane Doe and John Doe in the suit, which states their names are now being withheld for privacy. But it says, according to the complaint, a copy which was obtained by CNN, Jane Doe and John Doe were 14 and 7, respectively, when they alleged that Haddish and Spears had them participate in sexual suggestive videos and separate incidents in 2013 and 2014. Good night. So
the videos, right? So and also I've heard that there's actual videos that people can go see. I haven't seen them. I don't need to see them. I've seen enough in this world because the oppressor is the goddamn devil. The Bible speaks of.
Right.
But my thing is this: I don't have to see gay porn to know that it's not my cup of tea. I don't have to see skits of child, pedophilia skits to know that it's not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've seen enough from the movies and everything else that the oppressor puts out. I don't have to watch gay porn. They have it in all the cartoons. I don't have to watch pedophilia skits. They have it in all the cartoons. They have it in all the TV shows. They have it in all the movies. I don't have to go watch it because I see it all the time. It's everywhere in the goddamn world. But my thing is this. It took you, when did it happen again? What's the year?
2013 and 14.
So 2013 and 14, that's what, 8 years ago?
8 or 9, Comic-Con. I think
Yeah,
8.
8 to 9 years ago. So it took you 8 to 9 years to figure out this was wrong.
Right.
It took them kids 8 to 9 years to say, hey, you know what? We've been molested. They molested us. I didn't like how this did. Like, and my thing is this. How did the kids end up there in the first place?
Right.
How did the kids end up there in the first place? This goes back to that old saying, and I'm gonna make it quick. This goes back to that old saying, like, so let's say a woman gets raped, right? Let's say she goes to a party, right? She goes to a party, a college party with a bunch of drunk devils, right? They're drinking, they're doing drugs. Anybody who's been to a college party, you know how it goes. In fact, I would dare to say this. You go to a college party with the full intent to get some box. You go to, am I lying? Let me know if I'm lying. You go to a college party with the full intent to get drunk and probably get some box. You probably, like you go, listen, how can you not go to a college party? Right now to this day, as grown people, right, the people who ain't in the truth, right, when I was in the world, I'm just being honest, when I was in the world, when I went to the club, I went to the club with the intentions of, listen, I'm gonna go to the club, I'm gonna have a ball, we gonna get it in, and hopefully I'm gonna get my, get some sloppy toppy later. Like, am I the only person that went to the club with them intents?
No, you ain't.
No, seriously, am I the only one?
No,
All right, listen, I know I'm not. And let me tell you something. The women know it's just as well as we do. I don't even like bringing this out, but I got people that live on my block, right? I call one the club hoe, right? You know why I call her that. Like every time I see her, she come back from the club. I see her with different dudes all the goddamn time. You get what I'm saying? So just by that logic, right? Women do it too.
Right.
We go to the club with the full intention on getting some ride. Well, they make songs about it now. They hanging out the window with their wretched ass friends. But ain't no shame in their game. They going to the club pregnant now. They don't give a damn. Right? So I say that to say this. Like I'm using this scenario. This is like the college student that goes to the college party. She's wearing a short skirt, right? The skirt is about this thick. She can't even walk because every step she takes, your eyes up and you can see everything, right? She goes there. She pops all the drugs. She drinks all the liquor. And then, just this one dude she's been teasing for the longest. And they get drunk. He's in his mind, he's already going to give me some booty. So, they have sex. And then she gets up and says, what happened? I was raped, right?
Right.
Now, if anytime during that intercourse, right, she says stop, he's supposed to stop. We all know this. We were all taught this, right? I'm not in no way saying that anything is her fault. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it could have been prevented. The dude that rapes the chick is his fault. He wasn't supposed to do that. But it could have been prevented. First of all, let's make it simple off the box. Don't go to the goddamn party. There's 1,000 other things you can do to entertain yourself besides go to a college party where there's going to be a bunch of drunk devils there, popping ecstasy, drinking liquor, popping Viagra, whatever it is they do at these parties, looking to screw something. They sleep with each other. What you think they're going to do when a woman comes in, right? So first of all, don't even go. Second of all, let's say that you do want to go. Don't dress like a whore. Don't dress like somebody that's walking in here to get gangbanged. Just don't do that. Don't dress like that. You know the reason why I don't go to Target and dress up like a person that works there? Because I don't want to be confused with somebody that works there.
Right.
I don't go into the police station dressed as a cop because I don't want them to confuse me as a cop. I don't want them to say, you're impersonating a cop. You're going to jail. So I don't dress like a cop. Well, if you don't want to be accused of being a whore or be accused of impersonating a whore, then don't dress like one. Makes sense, right?
Come
So let's say that you go to the party anyway. Is that the video?
They ain't got that one, but this is another video she do. But it's simply just stick a popsicle in her mouth. I'm just saying, though, they get caught. These niggas talk a lot about why
you show me that video? I didn't want to watch it.
It's nothing bad.
It's the worst.
They thought about it.
It is the worst. This nigga, it didn't even, she just put it in my face and I looked for the gun.
What's really going on? You know what
Now, I don't need to see it. The people are my eyes. And the way that they're mad lets me know that it's not really important. Because they can really go to a gay pride parade, watch a little kid get raped in front of them, and they would stand there and cheer it on.
Right.
That's what they would do. They would stand there and cheer it on and say, well, that's love. They watch these heathens marry 12-year-old little girls. They watch these 80-year-old heathens marry 12-year-old little girls. I forget which goddamn devil that was that adopted a little girl. He adopted her when she was like 8 years old and married the bitch when she turned 18. No, this is a devil recently. He adopted a little Asian girl, right? Adopted her when she was like 8 years old. Every time I've seen pictures of him, it always had a pedophilia feel to it. She would be sitting on his lap and stuff, right? Now, he adopted her to be his daughter. She turned 18 and he married her. It's a famous devil. He married his adopted daughter. So you're trying to tell me that he wasn't sleeping with this little girl? You know what you're trying to tell me? He really waited till she was 18?
Heck no.
That's what you want me to believe that? Okay, I'll believe it. It makes sense. Come on, man. But nobody's mad about that kind of stuff. When a white man does it, nobody is mad. Will Ferrell do stuff like that all the goddamn time and nobody says nothing. You seen Talladega Nights? It's a scene in that movie where he's sitting at the dinner table talking to the old grand, and then out of nowhere he grabs his wife and basically screws her in front of the two white kids with his friend there holding the wife's hair in front of the granddad. He screws his wife in front of everybody. Why ain't you mad about that? That's funny then. It's funny when Will Ferrell does it. Right? It's funny when he does it, but when Arian Spears do it or Tiffany Haddish do it, it's a problem. This ain't nothing but another point to let you know. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, like who will part out? Listen, number one, you can't do what everybody else does. Even if it's goddamn funny, man, that don't mean that you gotta do it, man. Stay the hell away from that stuff. Stay away from the pedophilia jokes. Stay away from all that, man. Stay away from all that. Stay away from it all. I forgot the point that I was making. I remember I was talking about, all right, I remember. I was talking about how to prevent it, right? Like I said, a chick goes to the party, she dresses like a whore, no sweat. You know what I'm saying? No sweat, you dress like a whore. How about you not pop the drugs? How about you not drink up all the liquor? How about you not tease and lead the guy on? Once more, I'm not blaming the chick for being raped. I'm just simply telling you how to prevent it. Right? Now, let's go back to this article, right? Now these people are upset. Everybody has a problem with it. Let me tell you how you not have a problem with it. Prevent it from happening. Prevent it from happening. How do you prevent it from happening? Quit accepting homosexuality. Quit accepting lesbianism. Quit accepting all these things that are out the norm, because whether you like it or not, know it or not, understand it or not, homosexuality, right? Lesbianism, all of that walks hand in hand with child pedophilia.
Right.
All of it walks hand in hand. Listen, I'm about to start a campaign. How can you discriminate against child pedophiles when you don't discriminate against homosexuals?
Right.
You talking about homosexual? You say when it comes to homosexuality and lesbianism, you say you love who you love. Well, let them homos love me. Let the pedophiles love who they love. Then it don't make sense, do it?
Right.
Neither does any of the other stuff. Quit trying to justify one thing, and when it leads down a nasty, disgusting rabbit hole, you're sitting up there acting like you don't know how it happened. It happened because you allowed it to happen.
Right.
I'm not blaming little kids that are really out here being molested and raped. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming everybody else who's allowing it to happen right in front of their face and act like they don't know how it happens. I can tell you right now, if I hop in my vehicle and I take off down the street with my eyes closed, pouring and doing 130, I can tell you what's going to happen to me. I can tell you that I'm going to hit something, probably kill myself or kill somebody else. I can tell you that's going to happen. You can't be mad at Arian Spears and Tiffany Haddish when you're not mad at gay pride parades being cast around the whole goddamn city, around the whole world, brother. They have gay pride parades in New York. They have them in Naptown. They have them in Chi-Town. They have them in Baltimore. They have gay pride parades everywhere. Right?
Come.
I'm taking the background on it. So what they're doing is, so it's a one video where he got a boy, he got his underwear on, right? The little boy got a con. And he got a newspaper, he's peeking through the whistle closet, peeking on him. So he is showing nakedness, so I see what they doing, but it's definitely a wrong spirit behind that. Because why would you want to put something out like that? You know what I'm saying?
Where do you think they got the idea from?
Damn right, everyone. Damn right. Con, so damn. That's crazy.
I just got to telling you about the movie Gone Baby Gone when they had the bloody draws. They had bloody draws in the goddamn sink and a butt naked little kid in the tub. So how can you be mad at this video when you're not mad at that goddamn movie? That movie won Academy Awards.
Man.
They won awards for that movie. They show little kids nakedness all the time on goddamn movies and cartoons. All the goddamn time. Am I lying?
No, you're not. Hey, so like if I may, out of one.
Damn right.
Man, it's a disgusting bastard on Twitter, right? And so what he does is, I don't know if it's he or she, his name is Fatherly or whatever, right? Certified with the check. When he promotes gay pride, his key point is to bring your kids, right, and bring your family. And he promotes this book. It's called Rainbow. It says a first book of pride, and it has all the kids or whatever of every spectrum on here. But it says, to be specific, you should also sit your kids down with a few more children's books about LGBTQ plus people and families. Rainbow, a first book of pride, is a great option for kids younger than 10.
Hey, listen, you like some young?
And he knows that they're impressionable at that age, which is so disgusting. And the Bible says, it says, abstain from all appearances of evil. But yet and still, he's directly, and those kids that are on this this little case or whatever, 14 and 7. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they're both supposed to be pubescent. And that's what the so-called MAP community are allowed to, be attracted to, minor attractive persons. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a very disgusting thing. You making up all these rules and all these laws. It's like cigarettes, right? The Surgeon General's on every box. You're going to smoke. Why? Because you want to. You don't give a damn about what the Surgeon General says or the assumed risk of smoking. So when you smoke and get cancer, are you allowed to actually sue the Surgeon General? No, you can't. So when you become a homosexual or someone who put themselves in like a rape victim per se, like I've never went to Radio Shack to get milk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You was bringing out a heavy point about the party. You go to the clubs, then all ain't nobody got on panties, and they wearing these stripper like, you know what I'm saying, veils, and that's it. You ever been to a club? It's hot, it's wet, and it's jam packed in there. You know what I'm saying? Just to get to the bathroom, she damn near getting fingered. They'll come back every week and get drunk and be falling over and legs wide open, no panties on.
Right, hanging out the window with her ratchet ass friends.
Right. Twerking at the stoplights. Salakia.
There's a brother that was on Twitter. I don't know about this movie though, but he was like, y'all so damn faking grandstanding on this app. How y'all so angry and perturbed by Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears for an appropriate skit? Yes, it's not a single cry of outrage over this movie that had young spouse twins turning tricks with grown men, but hanging Negroes. It's called The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. You can see the little level.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
And if I could, that's what I was saying. Like, there's 1,000 movies out like this. There was a show on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but they had these little kids, and they were all dressed up in makeup and stuff, and they were popping their asses and doing all that stuff. I remember that, and everybody was in a uproar. Motherfucker, go ahead, Shiga.
No, I was actually just about to touch on that before you had got to.
Go ahead.
So, like, the show that he's talking about, this was a while ago, and it ended up actually somehow getting swept up under the rug. You know, when it comes to us, yeah, that's what it's called. I was gonna say that. But when it was swept up under the rug, you know, when it came to your Christian church, then nobody wanted to speak on it. But you know, the ISUPK was bringing it out heavy, man. Like, this is the type of stuff that's promoting pedophilia, man. Sexualizing little kids. Like what in your right mind would make you think that was okay? You understand? Like, this is America. This is America. This is the so-called land of the free and the home of the brave. This is where you can live out your most wicked and evil and disgusting deeds ever.
If I could, real quick. Land of the freaks and home of the gays.
Right? That's all I have to say, man. Like I said, this is the place where you can come to and you can live out the most disgusting and wicked fantasies you could ever think of.
Right.
And that reminds me too, Adawan Salakia.
Yeah, right, Chris.
A movie called Lord of the Flies and a movie called Kids.
Oh, I remember Kids. That was a baby porno when I was a kid.
And wasn't nobody in that movie older than 21. But you have grown men recording kids and running around New York humping and getting high.
Right.
Then Lord of the Flies, there's a whole bunch of like little young British kids who plane crashed, and they all running around the island butt naked with tighty whities on. Like, that's trash.
Nobody said anything. The fact of the matter is this: pedophilia, to me, is anything that sexualizes little kids.
Right.
And I guess the question then becomes, what is considered a little kid? Because we know what sexualizing is. So now, what do you consider a little kid? And then what do you then what is the limit? What is the cutoff switch? Prime example. I'll give you a prime example. This is gonna hurt a lot of feelings, but does anybody ever find it weird that all these kids, all these little girls who are involved in gymnastics always end up molested? 9 times out of 10, all these little girls in gymnastics always end up molested one way or another. End up raped, end up molested. Even a famous black chick, what's her name? The new one, Simone Biles. Am I saying that name right? Does anybody know?
Sound like it, right?
But the one she's in the Subway commercials and all of that, the one that everybody was hating, she had came out and said that she was molested. But once more, if you ever watch the gymnastics things, right? Now remind you, they start off young. They start off at 7, 8 years old and go up until they're in their 20s, right? But all of them are wearing the same thing from the time that they start to the time that they finish, right? They're wearing them, they're basically them swimsuits. That's what they're doing. They're doing the splits, leg all up in the air and all that. You get what I'm saying? Right. That's what they're wearing. How many times have you listen, man? I can't be the only one. I used to go to I played football in high school, right? I used to always go to the gym when I knew the girls volleyball team was in there, whether they was having a practice or having a game. And let me tell you something. I cannot tell you the rules of volleyball. I do not know the rules of volleyball. I don't know. Does anybody know the rules of volleyball? Anybody know the rules of volleyball?
Hit the ball when I hit the ground.
Right. That's it. I don't know if it's 1 point or 3 points. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the moves are called. I don't know any of the penalties. I don't know. But I do know I used to go watch the girls play volleyball all the time. And anybody guess what?
In little shorts.
They had on them shorts. And I'm watching everything bounce and jiggle everywhere. Hey, listen, our program used to take gymnastics. I would go to gymnastic practice with them, not because I wanted to learn how to be a Batman and flip all over the goddamn place. But that's why I went.
Same reason,
because I'm watching TNA jingle and bounce everywhere. I was on the swim team. I was like one of 3 dudes on the swim team. Guess why I was on the swim team? Because I got to see TNA all day, every day. Straight up. I'm just saying. It ain't like if they would have wore baggy shorts and t-shirts, I wouldn't have went. I went there because me being up here, watching them be on that diving board and do that one big gather jump, a boob usually pops out. There it is. You hear what I'm saying? There it is. I'll be out happy after that. Give me a hug, girl. You did so great. Turn it to Pinocchio. You know what I mean? Straight up. I have another question though. With all that being said, is there a reason why every time you see these gymnastics and these volleyball coaches and women's sports where they wear the most sleaziest of outfits, right? Why is the coach always an old white man who can't do a cartwheel? Right. Why is he always the coach? The coach is always some old white man who can't even do a cartwheel, but he's teaching these girls how to do backflips. Go ahead, Shia. He ain't never did a flip in his life, but he's the coach.
It's a lot. If I could, that is such a heavy point for you to bring up. When it comes to your sports, world, and you watching, brothers play football, basketball, all this extra stuff, you might look at your coach and think, man, this nigga can't do what I do, and he might mess around and school you. But then, like he said, you watching these sisters and these little kids do gymnastics and stuff, and you got this old white man doing it. Why not have a female that actually knows what she's doing so she can demonstrate, how to do it? Why you got this old creepy white man doing it? You don't find that the least bit suspicious? Right. You feel safe with sending your kid off to that old man? Go on, old man McGucket. You'll be fine.
Private lessons,
right? Yeah.
You're gonna make it great this year. You're gonna win championship.
Said always going off to private lessons. Said ain't learning nothing new, but you stay in private lessons doing something. Right. That's all I have to say.
Man, I don't mean to laugh, man, but that is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, the extra private lessons, man. All right. And my thing is this. To me, like I said, pedophilia is anything that hypersexualizes little kids.
Right.
All of these things are hypersexualizing little kids. Like I said, there's a show called Little Cuties that everybody was mad about. I never watched it, but I seen a picture when you show it to Netflix. Yeah, the little girl on her hands and knees with her back arched, butt in the air. Now, if you see, listen, get the little kid picture out your mind. I'm just telling you what the little kid did. The little kid was on her hands and knees, right, with her back arched and her butt in the air. Now, take the fact that I said little kid, right? I'm going to say this. I'm going to just say this part. Hands and knees, back arched, butt in the air. A woman. What does that sound like about to happen?
Right.
You feel me? Listen, man, I'm gonna just say, man, straight up, like that's doggy style right there. You get what I'm saying? When I see stuff like that, I'm like, man, what the heck? There's only one thing that pops in my mind. Who about to get screwed? Somebody about to get poked. You know what I'm saying? It's about to turn into this right here. When I see that, this is what I see. Clap it up for that brother. Look at that. Straight up. But you got little kids doing it. And she got on like a little mini skirt. You get what I'm saying? She got on a little mini skirt. Like, how many times have you been challenge surfing, right? And you'll see, like I said, gymnastics. Just doing a floor routine. You're not a fan of gymnastics. You can't tell me one famous gymnastic person, or maybe one, but you can't name three. I'll tell you, name 3 basketball players off the top of your head, you can do it. Right. Name me 3 famous gymnastic players, people. You can't. But every time you channel surfing and you see gymnastics, chicks doing gymnastics, you stop and look, not because you want to, but because you are, because you see TNA bouncing. You like, and you be like, damn, she thick. Let me keep going. Right? You're wired that way. You're wired that way. You forget the fact that these are teenagers, right? You forget the fact that these are teenagers. And you also forget the fact that they have been doing this since they were 6, 7, 8 years old.
Right.
Let me tell you something, man. Pedophilia is anywhere where our kids are hypersexualized, man. And our kids are always hypersexualized. Like, how many times, and this is the sad part. This is really the sad part. How many times have we been on Facebook, right? And we'll be scrolling and we'll see a little black girl and like a little bitty baby. She got earrings, she got makeup on, she got a little tutu on, a half halter top. Like, this is a little baby. She's still in goddamn pull-ups. But her mother has dressed her like a grown woman. And the first thing that you say is, why the hell would you put that on that baby, right? Right. You see her getting trashed on Facebook. They're like, why are you doing that? You turning that baby into a hoe? The mother got on the grown version of the outfit. The little baby got on the little baby version of it, right? And she gets trashed and she gets destroyed and not everything else. And there's always somebody stupid enough to defend her, right? That's cute. This is that. Blase scoop, right? But then we turn around once more. We turn around and we let our kids watch everything that has to do with homosexuality. We let them watch everything that has to do with lesbianism. We let them watch all these things. We let them go and we let them wear swimsuits, 2 pieces, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? We let them listen. You'd have been to the beach. I'd have been to the beach. Let me tell you something. I didn't go to the beach to go swimming. I didn't. I didn't go to the beach to go swimming. How many of us went to the beach to go swimming? I used to go to the swim. How many times have you went to the swim pool as a little kid and you goddamn well you wouldn't go swimming? And where you going to the pool? You left the swimsuit, dude. Door shut. You gone. You standing outside the gate looking. Talking crazy. Hey girl, come here. Come here. Right? And then once more, these is kids our age at the time, we as teenagers, in 2-piece outfits, but then you see little kids with the same goddamn outfit on. And you don't pay attention to it because in our mind, we weren't in the truth, so it wasn't inappropriate. But now we understand. Like that little boy in his tidy whities that he's looking through the hole in the newspaper in, the little girl that he's shoving a popsicle in her mouth. I know this because Kumar just showed me the video. But that's stuff that they're doing, right? That's stuff that they're doing. That is not outside the normal of everything else that we see in the world of America. We see it all the goddamn time. But now it's a problem.
Right. They didn't blow up that football coach that was raping the boys in the bathroom. Sandusky. You know what I'm saying? That went
Penn
away.
State.
Yeah, Penn State, man.
Don't return on that. That devil died after that. He had a heart attack. He's 100 years old. Only 150. He died after he got caught up and brought up on. Why are you letting these cats get raped?
Right. Damn right, man.
But nobody gives a damn, man. Like I said, you sick of pedophilia? Well, let's get rid of the LGBT community. All right. If you're really sick of pedophilia, boycott the LGBT community. Because it's all a byproduct of the same thing, man. The same thing, man. That's all.
Church.
Yeah, Christian church. If you're sick of pedophilia, boycott the Christian church.
Right. The mosque.
The Muslim mosque. All of that. It's all the same disease. It's all the same thing, man.
You're ready your football program, your cheerleader program, your basketball program.
Absolutely.
Boy Scouts, Boys and Girls Club.
Oh man, that's ground zero, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? They should back. What they say, shake down? Shake down. It's time to shake down, man.
Oh, that gotta go, boy. That is pedophilia 101. And they don't even wear sexy clothes there, but they alone in the woods. That's sexy enough for the camp leader, for the camp master.
Pictures that had the president touching little girls doing weird stuff. You know, who was that? Was it Donald Trump or I don't know? I think it was Donald Trump.
That was Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
That's exactly what it was.
Joe Biden.
Get him out of office.
All hugged up on little kids.
If he's doing that, everybody's be questionable in the goddamn White House.
Right.
We're going to investigate everybody.
Get rid of them. Get rid of them. You understand? So that lets me know that it's really not about child pedophilia. It's only about black people. It's always black people that's targeted. It's always black people who's discriminated against. It's always black people that's doing something wrong. But black people, well, we gotta understand this as well, is that we can't do what these goddamn oppressors do. It's funny when Will Ferrell do it. When you do it, it's harassment. It's sexualizing. It's you breaking laws when you do it, black man. But let me tell you something. They don't breaking the white man's law. You quit worrying about breaking the white man's law. There's only one there's only one person in this whole universal law you should be worried about breaking. And that's the Lord's. That's the Most High. You understand? That's the only person law you should be worried about breaking, man. That's all I got, man. I appreciate everybody working it out with the podcast. Anybody got anything you want to bring up before we get ready to get out of here?
What? That's a slut.
Come on, read.
This is a lie. He oppresses the goddamn devil.
Right.
Damn right. Damn right, man. Once more, man, appreciate the brotherhood on this show. It's a Moment of Truth podcast, man. We're going to keep rocking it out. We're going to keep bringing it out. We're going to keep dropping it every man. And we will see y'all next week, bro.
And if I could, bring those topics, man, so we can break it down for you. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? Bring any goddamn topic that you don't understand, you need to break down, we're going to break it down for you. And we're going to tell you why. And why is going on, you know what I'm saying? Because we are the priests and prophets. This is our job and our duty, man, our life, man. To wake up the nation. With that, shalom.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel.